So today we're going to be talking about one of the things that drives me insane when it comes to on location, studio shoots, whatever it may be, is the lack of significant battery power. The newer cameras, the Sony a7 III, the Sony a7R III, they have a more robust battery. We are still using a few of the older Sonys. We have the Sony a7R II that I use primarily for video, and they use these little small tiny chiclet batteries, which are not worth anything. I started doing some research, and I looked at a number of different sources, and what I've come to realize is there's a number of different options for adding additional battery power, to these cameras. You can't put in a larger battery because this is the size of the battery that the manufacturer, creates. And this is an NP-F W50. This battery is not going to last. If you're shooting 4K video and you're doing some run and gun, you're shooting a lot of images, this thing will literally run out in just a matter of 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes if you're lucky. So what I've decided to do is to upgrade the camera with a more efficient battery system so that I can increase the runtime when I'm out on location. So let's take a look at that. This is the base plate on this specific camera, and what I purchased, and we'll run through that really quick here. The first item I ordered was a dummy battery. And if you've never seen one of these dummy batteries before, they're basically no different than the stock battery. The only difference is it does not supply any power. No power comes from the dummy battery itself, hence it's a dummy. So if you look at the dummy battery in comparison to the stock battery, they're literally the same size, and they would have to be in order for this to work, right? So there's no markings, there's no power reading because it's just a dummy battery, as I said before. Now that's going to come with a male in that you're going to plug into some type of external battery. That could be a V-mount battery, that could be any number of different batteries that you could probably connect this to. But what we're going to be using is a plate system from Smallrig. So let's take a look at that real quick. So here's what we got from Smallrig. This is a NP-F battery adapter plate. And what this is supposed to allow us to do is to connect this plate to the base plate here on the rig, and then we'll be able to utilize connect it to the dummy battery and then power the camera off of that dummy battery. So right now there is a battery in this camera, so I'm going to pop that out real quick. So that's the battery that was inside. I'm going to take that, push it off to the side. So now what we have is our dummy battery, and we're just going to pop the dummy battery inside of the camera. And for now, we'll just leave the door open, but there is a little tab that you can pull to the side to allow this cable to come out with and then keep the door closed. But the way we have it mounted, it's not necessary for this demonstrational purposes. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have in our box. Now I have to say, this is probably one of the best boxed items that I've gotten so far from Smallrig. Most of their items come in very, very simple boxes, nothing fancy, and 99% of the time, it's just a box. It's just a cardboard box. But this one slides out. That's nice. And there's additional tape, so let's cut through that real quick so we can pop this open. It feels weighty, so I'm expecting it to have some heft to it, and it does. Let's see if there's something else in the box. I don't think there's anything else in the box. Nope, probably not. Okay, so let's put that off to the side. So here's the plate. This is metal. So on one side of the plate, you have a DC out, which is a 7.4. And on the opposite side, you also have a DC out, which is a 12 volt. Now, if you're using, if you have a Blackmagic or some of the other higher end cameras, you'll be using this 12 volt. And some monitors also use this 12 volt. But this one, specifically for this type of camera, it's going to be the 7.4 is what you're going to need. So it also comes with a little seating screw. And we're going to use that to attach it. So let me put the camera back in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it like that. Hopefully that screw will be long enough. Depending on the size of the battery that you go with, will determine the runtime that you're going to get out of your setup. I'm just going to put that in there just temporarily for now. And here's our plug. So I'm just going to plug that right here into the 7.4 out. And I need to get a battery for it. So here's our battery. This is just a traditional NP-F Sony battery. This one is the NP-F 550, a 2900 milliamp battery. So that's twice what you get from the stock Sony battery. So let's just pop that in. Okay. And as you can see already, it's powering up. So right here you have a button that you can press to check your battery level. But what's most important is that this will be able to power this camera. So let's turn the camera on. There we go. Shows it at 100%. Everything's working. So if I press record on this, obviously it would start to record. So instead, let's just put it into photo mode. Take a shot. And we're going to test it also in our video mode. And as you can see, it is recording. So that's going to be a pretty good solution, I think, for my running gun. So like I said, you can buy much larger versions of these Sony batteries. You can get them, I can't remember what the numbers are. I'll put them up on the screen. But you have versions of this battery that goes up to 6 times the capacity of this one battery right here. So depending on what it is that you're shooting, this is a perfect solution. And then this doesn't have to be mounted as I have it here. You could mount it easily enough on your cage. You could mount it on the side of the cage. There's any number of different places you can place this, because you can see that the cable is relatively long. So I could literally mount this up here on the cage and then run the wire around and then still connect it to the camera. So, you're only limited by your imagination. But anyway, guys, I wanted to do a really quick video, and I always say that, but you know how these videos go. So anyway, that's what we got today from Smallrig. So if you're in need of more battery power for whatever it is you're trying to power, whether it's a camera, microphone, or some other device, this little plate may be a very good solution for you. All right, guys, so until next time, I will catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. And until then, peace. I'm out.